Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're talking about a Rock Stun Zoodiac deck profile. Rock Stun Zoodiac. Now, this deck is a deck I've been messing around with probably for a few months now. Maybe a little bit longer than that. It was kind of a deck that I picked up a while ago, like a long while ago, when I finally completed my Rock Stun core. And then I put the deck away, and then I picked the deck back up. And I really personally think that since Zoodiac Dryden and Zoodiac Broad Bull are banned, I think that this is the best version of both Zoodiac and Rock Stun. Let's just get into it. Starting with two copies. Sorry if I butcher the names of the rock monsters. But two copies of Koikai Meru Sandman, 2 copies of Wall, and 3 copies of Guardian. Guardian's obviously the best one because of how many hand traps are in the game, and also just because, you know, the way the game has been evolving as of late, a lot more monsters are having, you know, trap card like effects like Cyber Dragon Infinity, and totally awesome. 2 copies of Fossil Dyna, Pelish. I see why people only call him Fossil Dyna. This is a win condition on his own. If you can get out this card and one of the Rock Stun monsters, you could just start beating your opponent's face in. Probably the main reason I like running this deck is because of Fossil Dyna. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I don't really run a deck without 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I don't think anybody really should be. But you could definitely run like an Effect Veiler in this spot, Ghost Zerger in this spot. I wouldn't really run Droll and Lockbird, maybe Ghost Bell, but Ghost Bell is kind of just as expensive as Ash Blossom at this point. For the Zoodiac engine, 3 Thoroughblade, 3 Whiptail, 2 Ram. What I like about Triple Thoroughblade is that if you summon him with him in his hand, you discard him to draw a card. And then 3 copies of Whiptail. Whiptail's just like a hand trap to me. And if you, let's say you open 3 Whiptails, you know what, some Whiptail make a Zoodiac Xyz monster, your opponent's like, okay, so I just got to get over that Whiptail. So then you activate the Whiptail's effect to make that monster bigger. It's like, okay, I just got to get over 2 Whiptails, and then you activate a Whiptail's effect again. Now you got a 3600 attack DD Warrior Lady. But that's actually it for the monster cards. Pretty straightforward monster deck. It's a Zoodiac Rock Stun deck, so it's going to have Zoodiac monster cards and Rock monster cards. For the spells, should be fairly obvious. 3 Barrage, 3 Ties, and 2 Iron Core of Koikai Meru. You don't necessarily need to run Iron Koikai of Meru. I would only recommend, if you are going to not run this card, just running a different rock monster of some sort. There are a lot, like Rock Golem's a good example of a card that could be in that spot, simply because what this card does is it guarantees, and that's what it was made for, it guarantees that your Rock Stun cards aren't going anywhere. And that can be huge, because you could be in a situation where you only draw 1 rock card. So this card, not the best spell, obviously, looking at the other 2 spells, but it's a very strong spell. Ties of the Brethren is actually, you know, it's got the obvious targets of the rock cards. You have, you know, Rock Stun of the Brethren is just insanely powerful. One of the best spells ever created. I don't need to introduce this card. On to trap cards, which is what we're getting to now. 1 copy of Compulsory Evacuation Device. 2 copies of Lost Wind. Honestly, this could be a 3rd Lost Wind. Lost Wind is one of the, like, most deceptive cards that are just so powerful because it's a walking breakthrough skill that also resets itself. It also can be activated during the damage tap. It also can help you get over big boss monsters. Like, this card is insanely powerful, and a lot of people will forget about it. An interesting card in here is 3 copies of Back to the Front, but then 3 copies of Torrential Tribute, and then 3 copies of Solemn Strike. You shouldn't be running, if you're going to be running a deck that's telling your opponent you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're going to just stun the crap out of your opponent, you need to run these 6 cards. But getting to the extra deck, I kind of put some of these cards in here at the last minute, but there are some cards that are definitely mandatory, but this isn't really what this deck's win condition is. I mean, obviously, summon a Zoodiac monster from the extra deck is part of the win condition, but it's not really so heavily relying on it. But 1 Nightmare Goblin, 1 copy of Nightmare Cerebus, 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix. These are just 3 really good generic extra deck monsters. 2 Mrs. Radiant, 1 Deco Talker, 1 Gaga Cowboy for game, Tornado Dragon, a Bits Dweller because it's actually low-key coming back, 1 Baguska, but then, of course, these 5 Zoodiac monsters. No, what's his name? Hammer Kong. I could definitely see running a second Chaka 9, but you don't need Hammer Kong to function. His effect's not really that strong. Tiger Mortar's good for boosting up your monsters. Chalk Knight's good for something out Ram or something out, just really any other cards. And doing more damage potentially. And Borbo's good, like Cowboy, for attacking for game. But that is it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said, I've been working on this deck for a while, but there's definitely changes that could be made. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click that like button if you did. Click that subscribe button for even more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Most importantly of all, have a good day.